The last day of class at Randolph Public School is usually pretty low-key. But this year,
Okay, let's go.
ag teacher Ed Terry isn't going quietly.
Well, I'm retiring after 51 years, so today is my last official day of school.
It's also the first day his final crop of future farmers have had the weather they need
A lot of math and agriculture. Listen up.
for their 40-acre field trip.
So that planter is 30 feet wide. If he's going 4 miles an hour, theoretically that's then 12 acres an hour that he would plant. If he wants to go 5 miles an hour, then in theory he could do 15.
Of course, in practice, the math doesn't always line up perfectly.
Everybody grab a row of your own.
In fact, on closer inspection,
Dig down and find seeds.
Ed's 51-year teaching career actually started 54 years ago due to an attempted retirement back in 1974 to take over his family farm.
My brother and I formed a partnership, grew the operation, and I thought that was the rest of my life.
But a few years later, 15 students from Randolph asked him for some help starting an ag program at an FFA chapter. Ed's wife, Carol, says it was supposed to be temporary.
He agreed to teach for 1 year and then that was going to be it. But then they didn't have a teacher, so he kept teaching. And he's been there ever since.
In the decades since, the Randolph FFA has grown from those 15 local kids to more than 150 from all across the region.
Northfield, you probably need to go back.
And whether they're restoring tractors, building a greenhouse, or farming their own field, Ed's approach remains the same.
He makes it about them. It's not about him. It's all about them. And he just wants them to succeed.
But that became a lot more difficult
Whoa, who's spilling beans there?
when the pandemic prevented these kinds of hands-on lessons.
The bag ripped on the bottom.
Teaching them online for me is not like face-to-face. So last year was just kind of a disaster, you know.
That's why instead of leaving at an even 50 years,
So I had a little accident. Accidents happen.
Ed decided to come back for one more pass.
We get several people around with your hands like this. We don't want corn stalks in there.
His students are pretty grateful.
So it's my first hands-on experience.
Just don't call them students.
To the rest of the world, they're young professionals in agriculture, but to me, they're my kids.
My grandpa owns a farm, but I've never been out doing this.
Speaking of grandpas,
Believe it or not, at my age, my oldest kids are 72 years old.
and that
Okay,
kind of
let's go.
generational impact
Light 'em up.
was on full display at the annual Randolph FFA Tractor Parade back in April.
I got 2 brothers and a sister that all went through FFA with Ed.
Yeah, he taught my mom.
I think he taught my dad,
Yeah,
too.
he taught my mom and my grandpa.
A record 150 plus tractors showed up, and Ed had kids in nearly every cab.
He's a great guy. I love him to pieces.
So this is the one I'm gonna drive.
That love was on full display,
My kids do all kinds of stuff, I'll tell you.
and even Ed's biological kids couldn't miss this.
Hearing about the impact that my dad has had in this space and seeing it all come together is amazing. I mean, we hope there'd be a big turnout. This is incredible.
Here comes the Grand Marshal coming down the pipe here.
Not all of Ed's kids became future farmers, but he still helped them succeed.
I was only in FA for a semester, but he taught me how to drive a tractor.
Give him a big round of applause, everybody out there.
The first word that comes to mind is legend. He's just a legend.
You think FFA, you think anything of Randolph, you think Ed Terry.
They'll probably be done here in a little over an hour.
It's still hard to think about what it will be like without him.
I mean, pretty much everything that we do, he has pretty much started it up.
Ed says he's not going far because he's not retiring from his other job.
Oh, shoot.
No, farmers don't retire early.
And he's not worried because he believes in the seeds he has planted.
They never let me down. You show them that they have the talent, that they have the ability, and they will perform, let me tell you. It's awesome. It really is.